All right, here we go. Back at it again with episode 5 of Cuco'S podcast. Today we're going to be talking about a movie that came out this year. It's called Unsane. Now, this movie really caught me by surprise. It came out of nowhere. I didn't really have any build up to it, any hype. But, I'm the type of guy that anytime a fucking horror movie comes out in the theater, I go out and I watch it. Because, I love the fucking genre. And I always give movies a chance because you never know. You can step on a gem like I did with this. So right off the bat, this movie has a lot of unique camera angles, and I respect that because I'm always looking for movies that have different ways of moving the camera around without, being just a traditional tripod setup. This is the character. I'm gonna just slap my camera here, and then everything else goes. I like unique camera angles. They were putting cameras everywhere in this movie, and it worked. Sometimes it doesn't, but sometimes it does. So, right off the bat, the main actress in this movie, she did really good. I don't know her name. Sorry, I didn't do the research for this one that much. But she did really good. And the dude who's playing her stalker, man, that motherfucker was creepy as hell too. I've seen him in a few movies. I just don't know exactly which ones right now. So right off the bat, I'm just going to let you know that we need more psychological thrillers like this. Where we're questioning the main character. Like we don't know if she's sane or not. I love these type of movies, psychological thrillers. I just did a review on Hereditary where they actually did something like that, where with the visions, and man, this movie really did good with that. Like it had me thinking, man, is she crazy, or is the guy actually stalking her? So that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Number one, right off the bat, something I didn't like about this movie is this lady shouldn't have signed those fucking papers. Like, if I'm going to see a shrink and I tell the shrink all these things that are wrong with my life and shit, and then she tells me, hey, I need you to sign these papers, and you don't know what they are, why the fuck would you ever sign some papers that you don't know what they are? Okay, so after that, let me see my notes. There's a lot of things in this movie that were very, how can I say this? It was highly unlikely that it would happen in real life. Especially, you have a woman in an asylum and she's calling the police and she's saying, hey, they have me locked in here, whatever, whatever. And the police show up and they just think of it as a routine call. Like they get this all the time. Sure, they probably do get that all the time. But if you have a woman screaming and crying and saying, hey, yo, I'm trapped in here. I'm against my will. They would probably give it a chance and say, hey, you know what? Let's actually see what's going on here. Maybe she's not crazy, but remember, this is a horror movie. Sometimes there's plot holes. Sometimes there's things that we don't understand. Let me see my notes. Oh, the comedian. I think his name is Jay Farrow. He's the guy from SNL. He does a lot of impressions. Man, he really blew me away with this movie. He did really good. For a comedian, he did really good with a serious role. I really want to see him in more horror movies because he was like, every scene he was in was like that little shimmer of hope that we had that she would get out. And man, that is really hard to do these days, where you actually have the audience show like emotion for a horror movie. Because usually we just go in and we're like, all right, who's gonna die? How do they die? How do we see it? Whatever. The scene where she's locked in that room with her stalker and she's like just jabbing into her and she's like, he's just jabbing, she's just jabbing into him, like saying you're a piece of shit, you're a loser and all this shit, and she's just breaking him down mentally in order to finally escape is like brilliant. She did really good in that scene. What else? Matt Damon also comes out in this movie. I completely forgot. Matt Damon's cameo is so out of left field, but so funny at the same time because he's playing like this paranoid. I don't even know what to call him. Like he's pretty much a private detective, and he's pretty much super paranoid. He's like, you can't take the same route home. You can't eat the same thing for lunch. You can't do this and you can't do that. And then the actress is like, really? Like, are you that paranoid? And he's like, you really don't know what a stalker is capable of. And it's true. Matt Damon's character was really good, and that cameo really did it for me. Like, I was like, oh shit, it's fucking Matt Damon. What the fuck? In such a small horror movie. I'm glad he did it because, man, he's a really good actor, and it was a fun cameo. The acting in this movie, like the psych ward people, man, they really hit it out of the park. I thought they were real fucking patients because they are acting crazy as fuck. Especially that chick that was like telling her that she was gonna cut her hair at night and shit. That shit was funny. A lot of those scenes were funny, but man, like I really thought they were real fucking patients. They were acting really good. Besides that, I mean, this movie's really good. It's a great movie. It's one of the top movies this year in 2018 that I would recommend for you guys to watch in the horror genre because we do have some really bad ones this year, but this one actually is one of the really good ones. It's not that long. There's a lot of scenes where you're like, okay, this probably wouldn't happen, but besides that, it's a really good movie. I would give it a 4 out of 5. It could have been better, but it's not bad. It's really good. Um I have one more thing to say. Oh yeah, the ending. So in the ending, she sees this guy in a restaurant that looks just like the stalker that she killed. And she gets the knife and she goes up to the guy and then she notices that the guy is not the stalker. I actually like this because it shows that the character is always going to be paranoid her whole life after what happened. I mean, who wouldn't be paranoid after that? You know what I mean? Like, the guy stalked you, he forced you into an asylum, and then all hell broke loose, and then you had to end up killing him. So that's really good. You know, it shows that the character is going to develop more strength down the line, but right now she's super paranoid, and she's going to continue to be like that. She's not going to trust anybody for a very long time. So all in all, great fucking movie. 4 out of 5 stars. Go watch it if you can. I think it's on Blu-ray right now. Check it out. And that's it. Cuco's Podcast, episode 5. Hope you guys enjoyed.